Hi, my name is Hari, and I run this channel called Ideation Unplugged. What I discuss here are the key aspects of entrepreneurship, taking case studies of failed and successful products which we commonly see. And I also want to do a lot more stuff, but I would want to focus here. So today, I want to talk about why product management is very, very important for an entrepreneur or an ideator. In today's case, I would take two examples, one from US and one from India. And let us look at how these both or startups, which went on to raise millions of dollars in venture capital, could not sustain the market, or one had to close down and one is still struggling with a lot of aspects. The first example I would want to take is Juicero. I don't know how many of you have heard, but this is a company which started in 2014, if I'm not wrong, raised about 120 million, and finally they had to close down in 2017, just in 4 years. What happened with Juicero is that they were trying to solve a niche problem, provide fresh juice from vegetables and fruits in their Wi-Fi enabled blender, and from the freshly cut fruits and vegetables which can be got through the subscription model what they had. They launched the product at about $799, and they had a subscription fee. And there was initially a good momentum for the product until one day, unfortunate for them, Bloomberg ripped apart the company for the huge price they were asking for just a juicer and to provide a tech of enabling Wi-Fi. And they said, if I use the same fruits and vegetables which I've got on the through the subscription, I could use my hand to squeeze the juice. I don't need the juicer. So there was a big question on whether this $799 price mark was meaningful and practical for the product to survive. Now, this got a huge backlash from the users, and everybody went back onto the dashboard, onto the drawing board. Sorry about that. And they started building, revisiting the entire strategy, looking at what should be done and how it should be done. Their most important investors spent some time ripping apart the entire juicer and talking about what an amazing engineering it was to justify the price point. But what happened actually was the question came, is this really required? The high-tech engineering of designing the juicer, was it required at that huge price point? So if you look at the whole case study, I think because they had an investor who came in and they were very excited and they just focused on selling it at that point, but did not look at how the users reacted and how they should make changes to their product accordingly for it to be a hit in the market. The second example I would want to take is a company called Dunzo in India, which is a hyper-local delivery platform, which started way back 2017-18, and I was one of the users on the platform for a long time. I was living in a community where even for a small thing, I had to take my car out and go, but Dunzo really became my savior because I could place an order to buy anything. This guy would go pick it up and come back, and I just paid through the platform. Very convenient, saves time, saves energy, saves fuel, and lets me just stay at home. But what happened with Dunzo over the next couple of years and even today is their focus was more on growth, where they wanted to bring more users to the platform. Yes, initially it's a good idea, and they started focusing on bringing in more users, which they grew. And at one point of time, they raised about 400 million from about 18 rounds. Um, I'll tell you my experience. So, for these kind of platforms, the most important aspect is the tech. When I was staying in the community, all was going well. I shifted my home from there, and I sincerely updated my address on the app and placed an order. When the delivery guy came, he called me and said, "Sir, I'm outside the gate." I couldn't find anybody. Then I realized he went to my old house, where on the app it's showing my new current location. I tweeted, I wrote to Dunzo, apologized, and said, "It's a glitch. We'll cover it." I do understand because I come from the tech background. So I let it go. And next time, again, I placed an order. It's the same story. After 2 months or something, the delivery boy went back to my whole house. I gave it up. And since then, I've never used it. It's 5 years. So I'm still existing in that system with my mobile number, but what's the use? I don't place any order. I don't even have the app on the phone. And that opened avenues for a lot of competition to come in. And people are doing amazing job with hyperlocal delivery. But Dunzo got caught up in the whirlwinds. It was focusing too much on the growth without realizing how to generate the revenue. The appropriate hooks could not be created for the user to keep coming back. And that's where they could not make a huge impact. Even today, Dunzo exists, but I don't use it anymore. Now, let's go back to the first example, Juicero. When we look at Juicero, the engineering is amazing. Is it really required? Is the question what we need to ask. So the three key aspects of product management, what I predominantly believe in, what we need to look at is the strategy, the execution, and the product life cycle. These are the three important aspects of a product. And as the product becomes big, you can decimate the huge product into smaller components, and each one will have their own three corners of the equilateral triangle. Maintaining the triangle will definitely lead to the success of the product. But most of the times, because of these valuations and because of these aspects which come into picture, we keep missing out on how to keep the triangle equilateral. Many a times it does happen. Even in our case, when we're building our app, we keep missing on the financial part, or the strategy part, or the product issues part, or how we're going to develop the next phase and things like that. But I think we try to come back and see how much better can we do in terms of our revenue versus expenditure from a standpoint. As entrepreneurs, it is very important to focus on these three areas. And these three areas are the only reason, or the area where you become successful or you don't become successful. There are loads of apps or products in the market which don't have investor money, but they're doing amazingly well. But there are also equivalent number of apps or services available with a lot of VC funding, but they're still not making money. And we know a lot of stories like that. In India, I can pick n number of examples where the valuation is at a different level, the amount of money which was raised at a different level, but the income is at a very different level. Probably they have strategies on a long-term play. But if you are an ideator, want to build a sustainable business, it is very, very important to have the equilateral triangle in your control at all point of time. Remember that. There is no shortcut. Not everybody can raise a fund. I mean, according to the statistics, I think 0.5 out of 10 startups actually start generating revenue. Instead, if ideators can focus on looking at providing one key aspect of the product, what you want to give, the service, what you want to give, and if you can monetize that, and I think that will be the deciding factor on the growth of your product and the sustenance of your company itself. I mean, we have loads of ideas for our but what we do is we keep it on a parking zone, and we just focus on what are the 5 things we want to do, and that's the only thing we have been doing till date. It's a slow growth, but it doesn't matter, because I know our client is getting the complete value of what we are doing, and it's a slow incremental increase where we will get to. So in summary, for me as an entrepreneur, focus on maintaining the equilateral triangle with the three key components of your strategy, of your execution, and your product lifecycle. Keep these things in mind, have them solidly laid out, and I'm sure you will reap the benefits of success. Well, if you like my videos, please do subscribe. I would be bringing more live examples which can connect to us as entrepreneurs, and we can take learnings from these successful or not successful products, and we can incorporate into our ideas. Until next time, bye bye.